What if I told you that fear is secretly running your life and you don't even know it? Every time you hesitate, overthink, or play it safe, fear is controlling the decisions that shape your future. What if your biggest dreams are slipping away not because you're not capable, but because fear is whispering, "Don't try," in your ear? The scariest part? It's happening right now, and you're letting it happen. But here's the truth: you don't have to live this way. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to stop fear from calling the shots so you can start making decisions that actually move you forward. Ready to take back control? Let's dive in. Fear is an invisible force that influences your decisions in ways you might not even notice. It's not always something you can point to directly. In fact, it can disguise itself in actions like procrastination, hesitation, or self-doubt. This type of fear doesn't always feel like fear. It often presents itself as rational thinking or caution. But the reality is, every time you hold back from taking a step forward because of what-ifs, you're letting fear win. Fear has a way of convincing us that we're not capable, that we're not ready, or that the risk is too great. But most of the time, these thoughts are exaggerations of what's really at stake. When you allow fear to guide your decisions, you're stepping away from your potential. You're convincing yourself that the unknown is scarier than it actually is. For instance, think about a time when you were about to do something new. Maybe you wanted to speak up in a meeting, take on a new project, or ask someone on a date. If fear had its way, it would have stopped you in your tracks. It's easy to listen to that voice that says, "You're not good enough," or "What if you fail?" The trick is recognizing these thoughts for what they are: fear trying to protect you, but in a way that actually keeps you stuck. But here's the thing: fear is a liar. It blows things out of proportion, and when you push through it, you often find that the worst-case scenario you were so afraid of never happens. Over time, you begin to see that fear's hold on you is much weaker than you imagined. One of the most common ways fear shows up in our lives is through procrastination. Procrastination is often disguised as being too busy, waiting for the right time, or needing more information. But these are just excuses fear uses to keep you from acting. Fear tells you that you're not ready, that you need to prepare more, or that there's a perfect time to start. In reality, there's rarely a perfect moment. Think about something you've been putting off for weeks, months, or even years. That project you've been wanting to start but haven't. That idea that excites you, but you keep delaying it. It's fear convincing you that you'll fail if you try. Procrastination is fear at work, feeding you the lie that you need to wait for the perfect circumstances, which will never come. In the meantime, you're losing precious time that could have been spent moving toward your goal. Every time you delay, you're telling yourself that the risk of failure is bigger than the potential for success. And that's the very trick fear wants you to believe. The more you procrastinate, the harder it becomes to take action. But if you push through that initial discomfort and take the first step, you'll realize that the fear of starting was far worse than the act of actually doing it. Procrastination is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. The secret is to start before you feel ready. Action is the antidote to fear. It doesn't have to be a giant leap forward. Just take one small step and you'll build momentum. As you continue to take action, you'll notice that the fear diminishes and your confidence grows. Another way fear manifests itself is by making you stay in situations that you know aren't healthy. Whether it's a toxic relationship, a dead-end job, or an environment that drains your energy, fear can make you believe that the pain of change is worse than staying stuck. Fear convinces you that the comfort of familiarity is safer than the uncertainty of change. But this is one of the biggest lies fear can tell you. Staying in a toxic situation doesn't just harm you emotionally, it impacts every area of your life. It drains your energy, lowers your self-esteem, and keeps you from pursuing your dreams. Yet, when you're in the grip of fear, it's hard to imagine a way out. Fear whispers, "What if it gets worse?" Or "What if I fail after I leave?" But here's the truth: the longer you stay, the more you lose your sense of self. Fear traps you in a cycle of complacency, and the only way out is to break through it. It's not about being reckless or making hasty decisions. It's about trusting yourself enough to know that you deserve better. Fear will always try to make you doubt your ability to handle change. But once you take the leap and step into the unknown, you'll find that you're stronger than you thought. You'll discover that the discomfort of change is temporary, but the rewards of breaking free are permanent. Take the example of someone leaving a toxic job. The fear of unemployment or financial insecurity is real, but so is the fear of staying stuck. Once they leave, they realize that the risks of staying in an unhealthy situation were far greater than the temporary discomfort of making a change. Fear wants you to play it safe, but growth only happens when you take the risk. The key to overcoming fear is understanding what it truly is, an emotion, not a fact. Fear often tricks us into thinking it's something solid, something we must obey. But in reality, fear is just a feeling, one that can be controlled. The more you understand how fear operates, the easier it becomes to break free from its grip. Fear thrives on the unknown, amplifying risks and exaggerating them beyond reason. It creates worst-case scenarios that are rarely true and can prevent you from taking action that would benefit your life. When fear creeps in, acknowledge it, but don't let it control you. Recognize that fear is a natural response to uncertainty or change. It's your mind trying to protect you, but often in a misguided way. Fear distorts reality and makes you believe things are worse than they truly are. The truth is, fear rarely reflects what's actually happening. It creates a false narrative of impending disaster, clouding your judgment and preventing you from seeing the opportunity ahead. One of the most effective ways to overcome fear is to take action despite it. The first step is always the hardest, but once you take it, fear loses its power. The key is to act in spite of fear, not wait for it to disappear. Taking action makes fear seem smaller, and the more you act, the more confident you become. Each small step forward weakens fear's hold over you and helps you grow stronger. Remember, growth comes from taking risks. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to control you. Every time you face it, you build the resilience to handle bigger challenges. The more you confront fear, the less influence it will have, allowing you the freedom to pursue your goals and grow into the person you're meant to be. Fear doesn't always have to be a negative force. In fact, if you learn to embrace it, fear can actually become a powerful motivator. Rather than letting fear paralyze you, you can use it as fuel to drive your actions. This shift in mindset is key to changing your relationship with fear. Think about how many times you've heard someone say, "I was terrified, but I did it anyway." Those people didn't ignore their fear. They acknowledged it and used it to propel themselves forward. Fear, when reframed as a challenge, can ignite a sense of urgency and determination. It reminds you that there's something worth pursuing, that there's growth and potential on the other side of discomfort. The next time you feel fear, don't fight it. Instead, ask yourself, what is this fear trying to tell me? More often than not, fear is signaling that you're about to step out of your comfort zone and into a space of growth. Embrace the discomfort as part of the process and let it drive you to take action. When you do, you'll find that fear no longer controls you, it empowers you. Fear will always be part of our lives, but it doesn't have to control us. It's a natural response to uncertainty, but it can be overcome with awareness, action, and courage. Every time you take a step forward despite fear, you reclaim your power. You start making decisions that move you forward, and with each decision, fear becomes smaller and less significant. The key is not to eliminate fear, but to not let it stop you from living the life you deserve. Don't wait for the perfect time, take action now, and watch fear lose its hold on you.